Hi guys, it is me Sasha again, and today for you I have a selection of some latest news from the world of rhythmic gymnastics. In this video we will talk about the Deriugina Cup and in which format will it be held. We will also talk about the new fish regulations that were released for the gymnasts in quarantine. Also, there is some new information about Melitina Stanyuta, where is she and what's happening to her. And therefore, if you want to hear all of this, stay tuned and let's get started. Before starting the video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and make the red button gray, as well as put your thumbs up. And let's get started. The International Gymnastics Federation has published important rules for international tournaments in connection with the coronavirus. For us, these are probably positive news, since if such requirements have appeared, it means that the Gymnastics Federation still plans to hold competitions offline. The rules are drawn up on several sheets, but I will briefly tell you about the most interesting of them for us. Gymnasts are prohibited from using public transport, so athletes will have to use private transport to get from the airport, train station and hotels to the gym. Probably this was already carried out even before the quarantine. An interesting fact is that despite the fact that everyone is obligated to wear face masks in case if someone is without a mask or violates this so-called health protocol, there will be no punishment for them. There will be no ban on the event, nor will there be a fine or suspension from the competition. So in fact, everyone will take care of themselves. Only gymnasts are allowed to walk in sports and warm-up halls without the face masks. Well, they will selectively allow fans to attend events, subject to the approval of the Gymnastics Federation, so we have the hope that soon we'll be able to attend the events. Of course, it will be kept at a distance of a meter from each other, and the occupancy rate of the hall will not be 100%, but at least it's already something. Write in the comments what do you think about such rules, whether they were really published in order to hold the competitions offline and the International Gymnastics Federation is planning such competitions, or is it just because they are trying to stir up the interest for the fans? Ekaterina Selezneva has published a really funny video on her Instagram. The girls are dancing on the camera, but at some point something goes wrong with Daria Trubnikova. I really have watched this video more than once. As you remember, I told you that gymnasts in Kiev were evicted from the October Palace. On June 1st, they had a training session on the street in support of their home gym. However, this did not help, and the situation with the training rooms for the Ukrainian national team is getting worse. The coaches of the Deriugin school and the Ukrainian national team held a press conference, where they shared that about 500 children are now on the street due to the lack of the training room. But not only is the hall of the October Palace not being repaired, and the rest of the premises in which trainings are now being held are under the threat. The athlete complex where the national team trains is planned to be transferred to state of the ownership, and the rent of gymnasts is not fully paid. The halls do not meet the technical requirements, and another part of the gymnasts train in the college premises, and this hall, as it turned out, will soon be lost, since commercial development will take place there, despite the fact that the athletes' parent committee finance the overhaul of the hall. The coaches want to leave this hall for the use of the athletes and in the future open a gymnastics department at the college. At a press conference, they asked to help preserve the halls for gymnasts, the administration and the ministry. We will monitor how the situation in Ukraine with the gyms will develop, and we hope that one of the best teams in the world in rhythmic gymnastics will not only have where to train, but will also train in good conditions. Melitina Stanyuta told in an interview about the situation in Belarus and why she joined the protesters. In early August, large-scale protests of local residents began in Belarus in connection with the falsified re-election of President Alexander Lukashenko. Large numbers of people took part in peaceful protests and were greeted by the government with violence and internet shutdowns across the country. There are still stories of abuse by the authorities towards ordinary people. In connection with the fall of the internet, the Instagram of Melitina Stanyuta, a participant of the Olympic Games, became a guide to the world of ordinary people, where she published scary stories and helped to search for missing people. Melitina said that in almost every family there are people who are somehow connected with the protests. Her friend was at the protest and then woke up in the hospital beaten up, and he could barely move. Melitina Stanyuta openly expresses her dissatisfaction with the real power. So for the publication on Instagram, her weekly show on Belarusian TV was suspended and she was fired. Now Melitina is afraid to return to home, as she may be recognized as the leader of the anti-Lukashenko movement due to her large audience on Instagram. So she says that they can safely put drugs on her or do something else to deprive her of her freedom. Supposedly, officially. Her Instagram is now filled with the fear for her country and support. Some posts and stories just shiver. Well, and finally long-awaited news. From 10th to 13th of September in Kyiv, the 25th anniversary international tournament in rhythmic gymnastics Grand Prix of Deriugina Cup will take place. The competition will be held for 3 days. Gymnasts will compete in individual and group programs. I think these competitions are very important for the gymnastics world now, and a huge gratitude to the organizers who are doing their best to organize an offline tournament with the participation of the world stars. We are promised the broadcast for all 3 days, so we will definitely have a good weekend. In addition to the Grand Prix, which will be attended by the stars of gymnastics, an All-Ukrainian tournament will be held, in which younger gymnastic stars will take part. There is no exact information on the participation of countries in the tournament, since someone refuses from those who were announced. But at the moment, the whole national team of Ukraine and the national team of Belarus, gymnasts from Lithuania, Latvia, Turkey, Israel, China are also expected. Perhaps the national team of Bulgaria, Spain will arrive too. In general, about 15 countries were initially announced. Now some fly off due to the stable situation in the world. But no matter how many gymnasts come, I'm sure it will be interesting. I will try to tell you in the new videos how the competition is going. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss all the new information. Write in the comments if you will follow the Deriugina Cup and if you want a video every day from the competition with a report on the past days. Well, I really hope you have enjoyed this video and I'll see you real soon in the next video. Remember that I love you all, and for now, goodbye.